Hey, it's Nurse Claire from Boost Prep, and today we'll be taking the TEAS Math full-length exam. This exam is the same number of questions and same time limit as the actual exam, so let's get into it. Question 1. Mr. Pandoff can travel 80 kilometers on 26 liters of gasoline. He lives 10 kilometers from the clinic where he works. How many liters of gasoline will he need to get back and forth from work in 5 days? Round up your answer to the nearest whole number. A, 17, B, 55, C, 36, D, 33. The correct answer is D, 33. So in this problem, you want to set up a ratio. So 80 over 26 equals 100 over X. 100 is the number of miles he will drive in 5 days. To get to that, you do 5 for 5 days times 10 for kilometers and 2 for 2 times because he's going back and forth to get to work. You want to cross multiply and then divide. So 100 times 26, that gives you 2600 equals 80x. You then divide x by 80 and divide 2600 by 80 to get rid of the 80, and then that equals 32.5. You round up to the nearest whole number, gets you 33 liters. Question 2. If Sue bikes 30 miles west of camp and then bikes 40 miles due north, what is the shortest distance back to camp in miles? A, 30, B, 40, C, 50, D, 70. The correct answer is C, 50. So Sue is traveling 2 legs, A and B, of a right triangle. The shortest distance back is given by the hypotenuse, which is C. You calculate this using A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So when you set this up, you do 40 squared plus 30 squared equals C squared. When you get 40 squared plus 30 squared, you get 2500 equals C squared. You take the square root of that number, which is 2500, and you get 50. Question 3. Solve, parentheses, x minus 5 squared equals 49 for x. A, negative 2, B, negative 12, C, 7, D, negative 7. Correct answer is A, negative 2. So for this problem, you want to take the square roots of both sides, which gives you x minus 5 equals 7, or x minus 5 equals negative 7. And you solve for x. So that gets you x equals 12, or x equals negative 2. Question 4. Solve for q. 2q minus 12 equals negative 40. A, negative 12, B, negative 14, C, 12, D, 14. The correct answer in this problem is B, negative 14. So you want to isolate the variable, which is q. So you subtract 40 from 12, which gets you negative 28. And then 2q equals negative 28. You divide them by 2, gets you negative 14. Question 5. What percentage of the new anatomy class was taking the class a second time if the current enrollment for the class is 72 and 53 are new students? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. A, 74%, B, 26%, C, 33%, D, 21%. Correct answer is B, 26%. So for this problem, you're looking at rounding your answer to the whole number because it's students, and you want to see how many are new. So you do 72 for the full enrollment minus 53 gets you 19. You then divide 19 divided by 72 to get 0.26. In order to get that to a percentage, you move the decimal place 2 points, and that gets you 26%. Question 6. What is the fraction equivalent to 0.14? A, 1 2/5, B, 3/5, C, 1/14, D, 7/50. Correct answer is D, 7/50. So in order to do this, you have to simplify it. You do 14 over 100 to give you the full fraction, and then you divide the numerator and the denominator. It gets you down to 7/50. So 14 divided by 2 is 7, 100 divided by 2 is 50. Question 7. Solve for P. P over 6 minus 68 equals 4P plus 16. Round your answer to the 10th place. A, negative 19.9, B, negative 17.2, D, negative 21.9, D, negative 24.7. Correct answer is C, negative 21.9. So in this problem, you need to isolate the variable on one side of the sign. So negative 16 minus 68 equals 4P minus P over 6. You're getting the P's on the same side and then the normal numbers on the left side. So then you simplify it. So negative 16 minus 68 is negative 84. And that gives you negative 84 minus equals 4P minus P over 6. To get rid of the 6 in the denominator, you multiply both sides of the equation by 6. So that gives you negative 504 equals 24P minus P. So you then simplify the variable on the side of the equation yet again. That gives you 24P minus P, 23P. Divide P by 23 and negative 504 by 23. That gives you negative 21.9 equals P. Question 8. The junior class of a local high school sold candygrams the week before Valentine's Day to raise money for the prom. They raised Monday, $98.25, Tuesday, $101.50, Wednesday, $155, Thursday, $137.75, and Friday, $201.50. If they sold 2,776 candygrams, how much did each candygram cost? A, $1, B, 25 cents, C, 50 cents, D, 75 cents. Correct answer is B, 25 cents. So in this problem, you want to add the total number of sales from all the days, which is $694, and you divide that by the total number of candygrams sold, which was 2,776. That gives you 25 cents. Question 9. Jameson weighs 45.2 kilograms. If he is going to reduce his weight in the ratio 5 to 4, find his new weight. Round to the nearest whole number. A, 32 kilograms, B, 35 kilograms, C, 36 kilograms, D, 38 kilograms. The correct answer is C, 36 kilograms. So for this problem, you have to set up an equation. So 45.2 times 4 equals 5x. And you solve for x. So 45.2 times 4 is 180.8 equals 5x divided by 5 on both sides. That gets you 36.16. Round to the nearest whole number is 36. Question 10. Solve for h. 19h minus 13 equals 227 plus 7h. A, 10, B, 20, C, 22, D, 28. The correct answer is B, 20. So in this equation, you want to then once again isolate the variable, solve for h. So you want to get the h's on one side and the numbers on the other side. If you do plus 13, you get 227 plus 13 and get 19h and 7h on the same side, so subtract 7h. That gives you 12h equals 240. You then divide h by 12 to get h by itself, and 240 by 12, that gives you 20. Question 11. A patient is on a clear diet. His intake for the last 24 hours is 1 8-ounce cup of coffee, 2 cups of water, 1 12-ounce serving of clear soup. What is his total intake in milliliters? A, 840 milliliters, B, 1,240 milliliters, C, 1,080 milliliters, or D, 980 milliliters. Correct answer is C, 1,080 milliliters. You have to use the conversion factors. 1 ounce equals 30 milliliters and 1 cup equals 8 ounces to get these all with the same unit. So 8 ounces equals 240 milliliters, 12 ounces equals 360 milliliters, and 2 cups equals 16 ounces, which then converts to 480 milliliters. You then add all of these together. So 240 plus 360 plus 480, plug it in the calculator, you get 1,080. You could also add up all of them in ounces first and then convert to milliliters as another option. Question 12. The nursing graduates of a local college accounted for 38% of the 1,322 graduates. How many of the graduates were not nursing graduates? A, 502, B, 820, C, 815, D, 500. The correct answer is B, 820. So for this question, you're trying to find the number that are not nursing graduates. So you type in 1,322 times 38%, or 0.38, to get how many are nursing graduates, and then you subtract that from the total to give you how many aren't. So 1,322 minus 502 equals 820. So 820 of the graduates were not nursing graduates. Question 13. A group of students decided to get together and study for their English final. There were 18 boys and 6 girls. Which of the following is a ratio that expresses girls to boys in simplest terms? A, 6 to 18, B, 1 to 3, C, 3 to 1, D, 18 to 6. The correct answer is B, 1 to 3. So in this case, you're trying to find girls to boys. So girls would be the left number, boys would be on the right number. You divide both of those by 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, 18 divided by 6 is 3. Which of the following lists of numbers in increasing order? -1/2, 0.8, 3/4, -2, 1 1/8. A, 1 1/8, 0.8, 3/4, negative 1/2, negative 2. B, negative 2, negative 1/2, 3/4, 0.8, 1 1/8. C, negative 1/2, negative 2, 3/4, 0.8, and 1 1/8. Or D, negative 1/2, 0.8, 3/4, negative 2, 1 1/8. The correct answer is B, which is negative 2, negative 1 1/2, 3/4, 0.8, and 1 1/8. Increasing order means from least to greatest. So the first step is to convert all these numbers to decimals. So that would give you negative 0.5, 0.8, 0.75, negative 2, and 1.125. So then you just put them in order from least to greatest, which negative would be the least, and then the positives would be the greatest. Question 15. Place the following numbers in descending order. 2/5, 1.8, negative 0.6, negative 1/2, 28%. A, 28%, 1.8, 2/5, negative 1/2, negative 0.6. B, negative 0.6, negative 1/2, 28%, 2/5, 1.8. C, 1.8, 2/5, 28%, negative 1/2, negative 0.6. D, 1.8, 2/5, 28%, negative 0.6, negative 1/2. The correct answer is C. So that would be 1.8, 2/5, 28%, negative 1/2, negative 0.6. So descending order means from greatest to least. You convert all these numbers to decimals, and then you put them in order. Question 16. What is the area of the shape below in square inches? A, 84, B, 96, C, 63, D, 105. Correct answer is A, 84. To find the area, you need to break the irregular shape into two familiar rectangular shapes as shown below. So a 9x7 and a 7x3. You find the total area by finding the separate areas of the 7x3 and the 9x7 and adding them together. So the area of the green rectangle is 21. So you do 3 times 7 equals 21. The area of the blue rectangle is 63 inches squared. 9 by 7, that's 63. Therefore, the total area is 21 plus 63, and that gives you 84. Question 17. What is the perimeter of the shape below? A, 57.12. B, 65.12. C, 44.56. Or D, 52.56. And these are all in centimeters. The correct answer is C, 44.56 centimeters. So to find the perimeter of the irregular shape, you find the perimeters of the rectangle and the semicircle, and you add them together. So the perimeter of the rectangle, and we are only concerned with the 3 exterior sides, these 3 sides, is 12 plus 8 plus 12. And that gives you 32 centimeters. You then find the perimeter of the semicircle. So you find the circumference of the full circle if it were to be full. So this part if it were to be full. So that is C equals pi times 8. So that is 25.13 when you plug it into a calculator. Then you calculate the length of the arc, which is the perimeter of the semicircle. So since it's just a half of a circle, you divide 25.13 by 2. That gives you 12.56. And you add that to 32 to give you the perimeter. Question 18. You are trying to decide how much storage you need for a new smartphone. Your decision will be based on how much storage you need for music. Your friend says that their music library is 5,100 songs and takes up 20.4 gigabytes of storage. Your music library is 7,521 songs. How much storage will you need? A, 24 gigabytes. B, 30 gigabytes. C, 36 gigabytes. D, 48 gigabytes. The correct answer is B, 30 gigabytes. So you want to set up a ratio in this equation. So 5,100 songs over 20.4 gigabytes equals 7,521 songs over X gigabytes. You simplify this down, and that gives you 5,000 times X gigabytes equals 20 times 7,500 gigabytes when you cross multiply. That then gives you 20 times 7,500 divided by 5,000 to isolate the X. When you do the 20 times 7,500 divided by 5,000, you get 30. Question 19. Which of the following is a good estimate for the following, assuming you could not use a calculator? 2.895 times 317.8 divided by 27.8. A, parentheses 3 times 317 divided by 27. B, parentheses 3 times 300 divided by 30. C, 2 times 320 divided by 30. Or D, 3 times 300 divided by 20. The correct answer is B, 3 times 300 divided by 30. The first answer is not the best choice because it still requires a calculator to answer it. The other choices are not good estimates either because they round the numbers too much or not enough. Question 20. A cell phone plan charges $30 per month plus $5 per gigabyte of data usage over 10 gigabytes. If your budget for the month is $60, which algebraic expression represents the limit of data, D, for the month? A, 30 plus D times 5 is less than or equal to 60. B, 30 plus parentheses D minus 10 and parentheses times 5 is less than or equal to 60. C, 30 plus parentheses D minus 10 and parentheses times 5 is greater than 60. Or D, 30 times 10 plus D times 5 is greater than or equal to 60. The correct answer is B. The 30 represents the $30 per month charge. The data is represented by D minus 10, which counts for the 10 gigabytes of data that is included. For example, if you used 15 gigabytes of data, you would only be charged $25 for 5, so it would be 10 minus 5 times 5. A salesperson earns $100 per day plus 7% of all sales. S. Which equation represents how much they would earn in a standard week, Monday through Friday? A, 5 times 100 times 0.07 plus S. B, 100 plus 0.07 times S. C, 5 times 100 plus 0.07 times S. D, 5 times 100 plus 7 times S. The correct answer is C, 5 times 100 plus 0.07 times S. The 5 times 100 represents $100 per day for 5 days. The 0.07 times S represents a 7% commission, so when you move the decimal to turn it into a decimal, you move it twice, that gives you 0.07 on the sales amount S. Question 22. A small business owner tracks her monthly revenue and visits to her website as shown in the table below. Which of the following conclusions is true based on the table? A, the revenue for July will be greater than 200. B, if the business owner wants to make a scatter plot of her data, she should put the revenue money on the y-axis and the website visitors on the x-axis. C, the highest revenue month occurred during the month with the greatest website visits. D, 2,451 plus 3,149 plus 2,181 plus 2,780 plus 3,251 plus 2,890 divided by 6 represents the average percent increase. The correct answer is B. If the business owner wants to make a scatter plot of the data, she should put revenue money on the Y and the website visitors on the X. The revenue is the dependent variable, which should be on the Y-axis. Revenue depends on the independent variable, which is website visitors, so that should be on the X. Question 23. Which of the following conclusions is supported by the graph below? A, plant height with water increases with water acidity. B, the highest a plant grew was 7. C, a pH of 7.0 corresponds to the highest plant height. D, plant height does not vary based on pH level. The correct answer is C. A pH of 7.0 corresponds to the highest plant height. The highest a plant gets is 30 centimeters, which is this data point, which corresponds to a water acidity of 7.0. Plant height does vary based on the pH level, but it doesn't uniformly increase. Question 24. The exam grades of students are listed in the table below. Which of the following represents the mean, median, and mode? A, mean of 83, median 84, mode 89. B, mean 83, median 86, mode 83. C, mean 86, median 86, mode 86. D, mean 83, median 86, mode 89. The correct answer is D, mean 83, median 86, mode 89. The mean is found by adding all of the grades together and then dividing by the number of grades, which is 10. The median is found by putting all the numbers in order from least to greatest, taking the average of the middle two numbers. So the middle two numbers would be 84 and 88, and you take the average of those. The mode is the number that appears the most often. So that would be 89. Question 25. According to the bar chart below, what is the average rainfall for the second quarter, April to June? A, 60 inches, B, 20 inches, C, 22 inches, D, 18 inches. Correct answer is B, 20 inches. So the answer is found by taking the sum of the rainfalls from April, May, and June, which would be 18, 22, and 20, and that equals 60, and then you divide by 3 for April, May, and June, 3 months. That gives you 20. Question 26. Which of the following is an example of a negative correlation? A, the more hours a bartender works, the more money she makes. B, a person's blood pressure increases as they get older. C, a car's value decreases as it gets older. D, the number of calls per hour to a call center varies from 28 to 45. The correct answer is C, a car's value decreases as it gets older. A negative correlation is one variable decreases while the other variable increases. So the other answers are not correct because the more hours a bartender works, the more money she makes, and a person's blood pressure increases as they get older. A car's value decreases as it gets older, so one is going down and one is going up. Question 27. The chart below depicts how two variables below, x and y, may be related. Which conclusion is supported by the chart? A, x and y have a positive relationship between them. B, y increases as x decreases. C, x and y have no relationship between them. D, x and y have a linear relationship between them. The correct answer is A. X and y have a positive relationship between them because as x increases, so does y, which shows you a positive relationship. Question 28. 16 over 40 times 10 over 25 equals blank. Enter answer as a simplified fraction. A, 4 over 25. B, 1 over 12. C, 4 over 32. D, 1 over 10. Correct answer is A, 4 over 25. Just multiply the numerators by each other and multiply the denominators by each other and then simplify them using a calculator. Question 29. Simplify the expression below as a fraction in lowest terms. 2/3 times 4/5 divided by 16/19. A, 152 over 240. B, 38 over 64. C, 19 over 30. D, 30 over 19. The correct answer is C, 19 over 30. You use order of operations, which shows you need to do the parentheses first. So 2/3 times 4/5 is 8/15. You next do the division. So 8 over 15 divided by 16 over 19. To solve this, you invert the fraction and you multiply. So 8 over 15 times, with the fraction inverted, 19 over 16. It is easiest to simplify the 8 numerator and the 16 denominator in this step. So 1 over 15 times 19 over 2 is 19 times 19 over 30. Question 30. Which of the following is the correct simplification of the following expression? 9 plus 4, parentheses, 4 squared, minus 7, and parentheses, divided by 3. A, 15. B, 24. C, 39. D, 21. Correct answer is D, 21. So you use order of operations, which is PEMDAS. You should handle the parentheses and exponents, and then you multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So you handle the parentheses and exponents first, which gives you 9 plus 4 parentheses, 16 minus 7, because you did 4 squared, divided by 3. You do what's then in the parentheses, so 16 minus 7, that gives you 9. And then you do the multiplication, which was 4 times 9, that gives you 36. You divide that by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. And then you do the addition last. So 9 plus 12 is 21. Question 31. A nursery at the local hospital has 4 babies in it. 3 are boys and 1 is a girl. The boys weigh 6.7 pounds, 8.9 pounds, and 9.4 pounds. The total weight of all 4 babies is 30 pounds. What percent of the total weight is the weight of the baby girl? A, 22%. B, 17%. C, 13%. D, 9%. The correct answer is B, 17%. So you need to calculate the total weight of the boys first. So 6.7 pounds plus 8.9 pounds plus 9.4 pounds equals 25 pounds. Therefore, the girl weighs 5 pounds. The total weight is 30. You subtract 30 minus 25. That gives you 5. You then want to turn that into a fraction, turn that into a percentage, which is 5 divided by 30 equals 16.67, which rounds to 17. Question 32. A recipe for 6 dozen chocolate chunk oatmeal cookies calls for 4.5 cups oatmeal. If Susan only wants to make 2 dozen cookies, how much oatmeal should she use? A, 1.5 cups of oatmeal. B, 1 cup of oatmeal. C, 3/4 cup of oatmeal. D, 2 cups of oatmeal. Correct answer is A, 1.5 cups of oatmeal. In this question, you need to set up a proportion. So it would be 6 over 4.5 equals 2 over x. You then want to cross multiply, which gives you 2 times 4.5 and 6x. 2 times 4.5 is 9 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6. That gives you x equals 1.5 or 1.5. Question 33. On a map, the distance from Cincinnati to Cleveland is 15 centimeters. The actual distance is 250 miles. If the distance on the same map from Cleveland to Syracuse is 20.1 centimeters, what is the actual distance from Cleveland to Syracuse? A, 335 miles. B, 120.6 miles. C, 250 miles. D, 380 miles. You need to set up another proportion in this problem. So that would be 250 for a number of miles over 15 centimeters equals x over 20.1 centimeters. You cross multiply, giving you 250 times 20.1 equals 15x. You divide both sides by 15. That gives you 335 miles. Question 34. A nurse was estimating how much coffee the staff was drinking in a typical day. She realized they were drinking about 3/5 of the container of coffee in a day. What is the percentage equivalent of the fraction 3/5? A, 33%, B, 60%, C, 80%, D, 75%. To convert a fraction to a decimal, you just divide the numerator by the denominator, so 3 divided by 5 equals 0.6. You then move the decimal to the right twice, giving you 60%. Thanks for taking this full-length math TEAS exam with us. For more exams and complete coverage of the TEAS exam, visit the link in the description. I'm Nurse Claire from Boost Prep. Good luck!